right, we're on. All right, welcome back to your view, our special edition coming to you live from the Crown Interchange out in Johannesburg. A massive roadblock here by the Johannesburg Metro Police, and as you have heard earlier on, we had that conversation with the Chief of Police, Chief Tembe, who was giving us, laying down the law for what must happen over the festive season. But as promised last week, I talked to Geoff Makhubo, who by then was the mayoral candidate for the ANC for the city of Johannesburg, and he promised that he's going to join me on this operation with the Chief of Police, and he's kept his word, and now he's mayor of Johannesburg. He's been elected in that very heated council meeting last week. Geoff Makhubo joins me now in our Frank Talk tonight. Mayor, congratulations.
Thank you, JJ.
We wish you well. You've got a lot of work to do, Mayor. You're starting on a very rocky path. Already your council is at war, having to elect a speaker yesterday. A new speaker was elected and so on. Just give us a sense of how the first week has been, just in terms of settling in and getting your administration on. What has been some of the few things you have put in place since your election last week?
Well, you're correct that after my election, the next day was a council meeting that did not end very well. We then issued a notice. We had a council meeting yesterday and successfully elected a speaker. Yeah. But in the meantime, we've been forming government. We appointed MMCs on Saturday. Yeah. They were sworn in on Tuesday. So they've been at the departments. Myself, I've been sitting with the city manager, the senior officials. Yeah. I've addressed a meeting of board chairs and CEOs of entities and all that. Yeah. So tomorrow we bringing everyone together in a lekgotla to map out the way forward. The lekgotla
of the city, with the staff,
with the senior
MMCs,
staff, MMCs, board chairs, senior officials, and all of us, the city manager and all that, yeah. So tomorrow we're mapping out the way forward. On Sunday, we'll be having a plan and then we're moving forward, yeah. Yeah.
What are some of the big worries that you have? You have been on council. In other words, you got a sense of what the previous mayor was doing. It's not like you are coming in as a stranger or somebody who's blank about what's been going on, because half the things have been reported at council. Half the things we are either opposing because you're in the opposition or supporting, on an odd occasion. Give me one or two big things that now as mayor, because different last week when you're not mayor, you're just a candidate. Now you are mayor, like there's no excuse and so on. What are the 2 or 3 things that you think this is going to be how I'm going to deal with the next 18 months? We've got only 18 months before the next election.
JJ, like I said when we met, when I was in the studio last week, this type of operations will be a big thing. Yeah. Public safety is uppermost in our minds. Yeah. The residents of Johannesburg must not only be safe, they must feel safe. Yeah. This is a crime hotspot. This intersection, yes. But we want policing to be at a ward base. We want policing to be at the communities. Yeah. They must feel safe in their own locality. Yes. I've just been speaking to one officer now who says a particular area in the north is becoming now a hotspot. So safety is one big thing. Secondly, this past week in the rainy season, it's just proven that we are very vulnerable as a city. Robots were not working, traffic lights were not working. The result of that is potholes and all that. So what I call the daily lived experience of the citizens of Johannesburg, electricity, load shedding and over above load shedding with the rainy seasons. I mean, we've had cut-offs and all that. So we need to ensure that the infrastructure of Johannesburg can withstand the adverse weather that we've experienced in the last week. And I suppose for me, lastly, it would be an internal focus. The morale of staff is not as high as I want it to be. You need soldiers to be on the ground for you to succeed in delivering services to the people and rebuilding the reserves of the city. So those 4 things for us are the main big ticket items. However, after the lekgotla will really come out and say these are the 4 or 5 big things. Yeah. We are meeting with the parties tomorrow that form government to have a minimum agreement with them, and have what you call a coalition manifesto.
Yeah, let's take some of those issues a little, because we've got some time. So, let's take the first issue of safety, and especially in the context of what we are doing here. One of the things that worry citizens is that when government changes hands, right, stuff that seems to have been working, right, gets changed just because now there's a new sheriff in town and so on. So you got a situation where the chief of police, I'm sure he's not been in office for 2 years or something. I mean, like when the new administration came, they fired the chief of police then and got this one. Now you've arrived, you got 18 months, right? In your understanding, having been in council, etc., are you happy with the current chief of police in terms of what they've been doing so far? Or do you think that in order to achieve your goals of keeping Johannesburg citizens safe, you have to actually go back to the drawing board and see whether you need to bring your own chief of police? Because if you have a chief of police you don't trust, or who in your mind was appointed by your political enemy, etc. I just want you to be frank with me about it.
Firstly, I didn't regard the Democratic Alliance as an enemy. I regard them as an opponent.
All right.
So they're opponents. So in any opponent, you shake hands after the game.
Yeah,
so if you're enemies, you don't.
Yeah.
I
can't
say
say because you got one of them to help you to vote yesterday and voted their own speaker out, man.
I can't say the same with my predecessor, but for me, for me, it's about opponents. So
yeah,
when I met the senior officials on 2 days ago,
yeah,
I said to them, work with us,
yes,
we'll work with you.
Yeah,
Johannesburg is for people, the residents of Johannesburg, even those who don't live in Johannesburg. So you don't work with us because you're hired by us. And I've just been taken to when Minar here.
Yeah.
He started when he was 21, he's 60.
Oh my God.
With the old Johannesburg
that
City
guy
Council.
needs a watch, man. It's a long service watch. Yeah, man. 21.
So he started with the old Johannesburg Council.
Yeah.
But he's still here.
Yeah.
I mean, even when the Metro Police was formed in the early 2000s, they integrated all of them. They're still here.
Absolutely.
That's the ethos of the African National Congress. We don't wield an axe and say we were hired.
So you're
by
not going to purge. You are clear in your mind.
I'm not going to purge. But work with us, we'll work with you.
People are saying if you got a manifesto that maybe was in odds with the previous administration, you do need to take a look at your senior officials to make sure that you're not going to give me excuse in 18 months when I ask you about why are crime levels high, and then you say there's sabotage, like the president is telling us now, there's sabotage on ESCOM.
No. Monitoring and evaluation monthly. So you can see that whether you're reaching your monthly targets. If somebody does not perform, we don't wait for 18 months.
Yeah.
You know, in first quarter, hey, pull up your socks.
Yeah.
I want crime stats down. I want people to feel safe. I don't want crime, lawlessness and crime to fester in the city. So I don't wait for 18 months. Tight oversight, tight monitoring and evaluation, because these targets will be taken to council.
Yes.
And of course, I expect the Section 79 committees to hold us to account on behalf of the citizens of Johannesburg. So we're not going to be wielding an axe, but people must work with us.
Absolutely.
And we'll work with them.
Yeah.
Because remember the senior managers, their CVs came to council.
Yeah. Yes.
The chief of police, Tembe, his appointment came to council.
Yeah.
Of course, I must say that many of them we oppose for one reason or the other.
But you accept that once
the majority has taken a decision, we have to abide by it. I mean, we are Democrats.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean that robustly we didn't oppose, and of course we didn't try and expose. I mean, that's the nature of politics.
Yeah, understand fully. But in your view, I mean, you've been in council before as MMC of finance, right? Before this new the old administration now came in. You must have some views about whether or not there are adequate resources, and we talked about this last week, right? I want to explore that issue a little more. You had a situation where 1,000 police were added, right? Do you think there's enough resources being put into the safety of citizens, right? Or is it something that you're going to be looking at to consolidate? Are you going to build on what Mashaba did in just saying, let's give the JMPD a shot in the arm, give them resources so they can go out there and fight what is really debilitating levels of crime?
It's not the first time. I mean, around 2013, we added about 1,000 cops or so. We just didn't make the noise. There's a difference. We are going to make noise now.
Yeah.
So what Herman Mashaba did by adding 1,005, it's commendable. We have to add more.
Yeah.
You know, a ratio of one JMPD police officer to 2,000 residents. It's just too big. It's not sustainable. So we need to reduce the ratio over time. Of course, you can't do it at once. I mean, we've just been saying to one of the director operations that, we need a way not to have, like a last chunk coming in. It has to be 500 there, 500 there, 500 there, 500 there.
In a sense, a gradual
increase.
Yes,
so it doesn't hit hard on the budget.
Yeah.
Wherein we it's just a smooth growth of JMPD officers. So it's something that we're going to put into the system and to ensure that we've got enough hobbies on the beat. Enough police persons on the beat. Yeah.
Wonderful. Tell me now, this is obviously linked to the issue of corruption, and after the break, I want to talk a lot more about that. Mashaba once again did a big song and dance about bringing General Sibiya on. He talked before he left of some 6,000 corruption cases. I mean, this is, I would understand if it was 600, I would still think this is too much. Because the question is, when are you going to work? If you are dealing with 6,000 cases, you are dragging people with disciplinaries, how many people are going to be suspended? It sounds like a mess, right? So I would like to know what your vision is on how you're going to tackle that. And the reason I'm asking this is that you only have a week in office, and we are told, and please clarify me, that there are some people who were fired by Mashaba as he arrived because there are cases on top of them. They were being dragged to disciplinaries, etc., etc. And those people are already walking the corridors already, even before they are appointed. I want you to tell me what on earth that is about, and whether or not it's true that there are people who were fired and they're already hired, and you're not even have a week in office, and what the story is. Please do clarify with me. But we do that straight after the break. We're talking to the newly elected mayor of Johannesburg, Geoff Makhubo, who is going to share with me, how it has been, what are some of the challenges. He's already indicated that if you are working for the city of Johannesburg and you are appointed by the old administration, work with him and he'll work with you.